So Dale Carnegie once said that anything a man can conceive and believe, he can achieve. Now, obviously, I'm paraphrasing and simplifying that a little bit, but think about that for a minute. Anything that you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. So, to me, this means so much more than just, you know, oh, believe in yourself and you can do anything. It's so much more than that. And I've realized that in the recent years, that this applies not just to your life and what you want to achieve, it also applies to your health and your own body. Because we have been sold a huge lie about our body's capabilities when it comes to our health and wellness. So, when I say whatever you can conceive and believe you can achieve, what happens if you're putting all of your trust in somebody who's being deceptive about what your body can do? You conceive an illness, you believe in that illness, and you become that illness. Think about that for a minute. When you go to see your doctor and they give you news about something, obviously everybody's personality is going to respond differently to a different kind of information, but if you go to your doctor and they tell you, hey, we just ran some tests and you've got this horrible debilitating disease, you are going to be tired, you're going to be sick, you're not going to feel well, you're probably going to have headaches, you might be bedridden for the rest of your life, a lot of people would just be like, oh my God, this is horrible. And in that moment of just conceiving this illness and then believing the words that you're being told, you have now manifested horrible symptoms. And when I say manifest, I mean your body has just now down-regulated your genes to support this news, essentially. With your thoughts, you can upregulate and downregulate your genes to produce different proteins that can turn on and turn off various diseases and illnesses. So just by the words of news, of bad news, it can completely change your body's response. Now, on the other hand, there are people that get bad news and say, nope, I'm not listening to that, thanks, I don't accept it. Those are the people that make the miraculous recoveries when given detrimental news in the doctor's office. Think about that. Because all this happens all the time. People being given horrible news about a disease, and then some people are like, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to accept this. I will make a full recovery, just regardless of what anybody says. I'm getting better. So how does that work? Well, it comes down to what we all know as the placebo effect. So the placebo effect is mind over matter. It is your decision, your thoughts, your beliefs, you conceiving something, believing it, and achieving it. That's what it is. For whatever reason, whether somebody's giving you a sugar pill that says, hey, this cures your disease, take it, and you believe it, then you achieve it. It's your mind, your belief, and your emotions doing the work to upregulate your genes to produce the proteins necessary to become healthy again. That is the placebo effect. That is it. Upregulating and downregulating genes to produce different proteins to affect your body on a cellular level to get well or become very ill. Your emotions, your beliefs, and your thoughts control your health. So that's a big rabbit hole when it comes to why the news is what it is. And I say it over and over and over. Don't watch the news. Don't read the newspaper. Don't listen to the radio. If there's something really important, you'll find out sooner or later. Don't listen to people that all they do is talk about the news. It's the same thing as listening to the news. If all you do is listen to people that gossip about the news, you're still getting the news. You're still in the same boat. So, anyway, one of the things that really kind of blew my mind is a study about knee surgeries. So they had a group of people that all had really bad knees that were all candidates, I guess you could say, for a knee surgery. And they split them into 3 groups. One group got the knee surgery. Another group had an incision made, was put under, was told they had a knee surgery, but did not. And the other group, they did nothing too, and they all just went through the same, physiotherapy kind of stuff. So the group that they did nothing with, and they just did some physiotherapy, got a little bit better. The group that had the knee surgery and then did the physiotherapy, not so much improvement. In fact, some people actually got worse. And then the other group that did not have the knee surgery, and again, went through some physiotherapy, they had the most success with people getting better. The most success. Because in their mind, they're like, great, I had the surgery, and the surgery is supposed to help me. They were told that the surgery would help them, so they had it. And because they had that, that was their placebo. But since they didn't get cut up and hacked up, and nobody took their cartilage out, and nobody tinkered with anything, they didn't have any recovery from the actual surgery like the people that did have the surgery. Now they have to recover from the surgery, and now they're left with a schmangled knee inside with a whole bunch of cartilage probably sliced up, cut up, and removed, things tinkered around with. They're dealing with a whole secondary injury on top of their crappy knees, whereas the other people that didn't have the surgery but just thought they had the surgery, thought that they had this, life-saving, wonderful procedure, so they're like, yeah, I'm gonna get better. And just that thought of conceiving that I'm gonna get better, believing that it's gonna work, they achieved their goal of getting better. Amazing. So I think maybe that's what they should start doing with everybody when it comes to those types of surgeries. Obviously not every type of surgery. Some things like, heart surgery and things like that, putting in stents and saving people from heart attacks is a totally different thing. This study just showed that certain types of surgeries do more damage than good. And you'd be better off just telling somebody that they had a procedure done than actually doing the procedure. So, placebo effect, pretty amazing. It is your mind doing the work. Your body responding to your beliefs, doing the work. So, it brings me to another study that they did, and it's all about your perspective, the way that you perceive things, the way that you perceive the world around you is the way that the world will present itself back to you. Your perception will change the way the world presents itself to you. The way you see things is the way it will come back to you. So there was an experiment called the the double slit experiment. And or the collapsing the wave experiment, basically. And so what they did was they had a screen and they projected the waves through the screen. There was 2 slits. As the waves passed through the slits, they went through and they would come out as particles in specific directions, the way that they expected them to, be projected through, until they took away the observer. Once there was no observer for the experiment, the waves kept acting like waves. They would just pass through, and they would just do their thing as waves. But it was only when there was an observer in the experiment that the waves would collapse into the particles and behave the way that they were expected to behave. The wave would collapse into particles and behave the way it was expected to behave in the trajectory it was expected to behave in. So it's kind of like everything around us remains just flowing energy until we observe it in a specific way that we expect things to behave, that it becomes what we expect. The energy around us becomes whatever we expect it to be when we observe it. So your attention to something changes that something. Does that make sense? So this is really exciting. It's one of those things that I do. It's just super exciting. Because when you put your attention on something, that's where your energy goes. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you're trying to heal a certain part of your body, you can take your attention and you can place it on that part of your body. Whether you're dealing with your elbow or your wrist or your heart or your kidneys or your lungs or whatever, you can take your attention, and put it on that area. And that is where your energy can flow. Obviously, you want to come into some kind of mind, heart, brain coherence. Because when you are coherent, that's when you can begin healing. You can always start by taking 6 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, like you're breathing out through a straw really slowly. This shifts your nervous system out of fight or flight. Once you do that 6 deep breaths, then you can think of the emotions, the energy that you want to bring to that area. Obviously, if you want to bring healing energy, you want to bring more love to those areas. Sometimes I begin always by thinking of something I'm grateful for, or 10 things. 1 thing, 2 things, 10 things. It depends how strong of a feeling that you get from those things. But you want to keep going until you've cultivated that really strong feeling of gratitude. And from there, you can build on that feeling of love. And it's those feelings, those emotions, that translate into an incredible vibration that you can project onto anything. That's why prayer is so powerful, especially in groups. Oh my gosh. So you can do this for yourself. Do the 6 deep breaths. Cultivate your feeling of gratitude and love. Send that love and gratitude to the area you want to heal, and do this every single day, a few times a day. If you can only have time to do it once a day, do it once a day. If you've got time for twice a day, do it twice a day. If you've got time to do it 3 times a day, do it. Do it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. The best is 10 minutes. If you can sustain that heightened emotion, that heightened vibration, that heightened frequency, sending that energy to the area of your body that you need to heal, you're going to be laughing later. You're going to be laughing. You're like, I can't believe this. I could have been doing this whole time. It's amazing. So, when I talked about prayer there for a second, I got really excited because it just reminded me of another experiment that they did. So, the experiment of praying, there was one group of people that they split into 2 groups, and they were all dealing with sepsis kind of infection. They were all really, really sick. And so they both had the regular treatment in the hospital, but one group had another group of people that were instructed to pray for that specific group of people, but not right then. They were instructed to pray for this specific group of people in the future. I think it was like 10 years in the future even. So, but even though that group was not set to be prayed for another decade, that group got significantly better faster than the other group. Same illness, same treatment, physical treatment in the moment, but one group was set to be prayed for 10 years in the future, and that specific group got better significantly. So this is a whole nother thing. I don't believe in time. I believe time is a construct created so that we can all keep appointments. But everything, all energy exists simultaneously. So the vibration of prayer transcends time. The vibration of your thoughts and your emotion transcends time. Now, this might be a little bit hard for some people to wrap their heads around, but these are experiments that have been proven over and over. So if you're sitting at home right now and you're feeling kind of hopeless with some kind of a disorder, an illness, a disability, and you really want to improve your health, follow those steps of the breathing, focusing your energy, focusing your attention, cultivating your emotion, and sending that energy where you want it. If you want some help doing that, shoot me a message. I'm happy to help you out. But this is something that you can do for yourself anytime with your energy and your frequency. We have far more power than we've ever been led to believe. We've been led to believe that we are just these mushy, powerless, useless, at the whim of any doctor just to help us because we've been taught to feel that we can't do anything for ourselves, that we can't heal ourselves. But the fact is, it is always your body that does the healing. Of course, unless you're getting reconstructive surgery after an accident, and that in case the doctor is going to put you back together, thank God they can do that. But when it comes to these other things, these chronic illnesses, these mental illnesses that they're just throwing pills at, that's not working. it's making everything worse. It's creating new diseases over and over and over. I've been down that road multiple times. I know where it leads, and it is terrible. So right now, you can get rid of any disorder or disease that you want to, that if you created it, you can get rid of it. Even if you think it is, genetic? Remember when I talked about upregulating and downregulating genes to produce different proteins? That's what you can do to take hold of your body and your body chemistry and your healing. You can take control of that. You have way more power than you think. I hope this was empowering for you. And if you want to get started with some help, what do I have for you? I've got a gift for you. Free detox, 7-day detox. Comment detox, and I'll send you my free 7-day detox to get started. It's a delicious 7-day juice recipe, easy and simple. And if you want, join my school community, Mind and Body Rebuild. It's free right now, but it's not going to be free forever. But in there, you'll find a lot more reasons. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you later.